Hello, this is Daniel Robbins again, and I wanted to also say, be the good soldier. Life can be pretty terrible. I'll be the first to admit that. The truth is not always what I want it to be. So I'm really thankful that I discovered the earth being flat, and I did discover it, and I'm never going back to the globe. But along with that came a lot of other conspiracies that I wasn't even looking for. So, for example, geoengineering. And it really annoys me when people call that chemtrails and say it's a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy. Have you ever heard the story of the boy that cried wolf? So in that case, the boy would cry wolf when there was no wolf. But in this case, people are crying conspiracy when there's just plain a conspiracy. So geoengineering is as real as can be, and it's really annoying, and it actually makes me roar. But it's not just that. I still remember when Carly Noel Franz remembered being at, as she called it, the cloning center. And she thanked Donald Marshall. I didn't know who Donald Marshall was at the time, but she described what happened at the cloning center. And to be honest, I was actually annoyed. I was just annoyed because what she was saying was so bizarre, I didn't even know how to process it. She was describing these, I thought she was saying rills. No, she was saying vrills, spelled VRILL. Friends, if you want to be on the side of truth, you don't have any time to waste. And the earth being flat is really like your ABCs. And I am familiar with the Bible and I like to quote it even though I know not everybody else likes it and I understand why they don't. But in Isaiah it does say, if you don't know how to run with the footmen, how are you going to run with the horsemen? And if you don't get your prerequisite courses, how are you going to get your advanced courses? So, for example, a lot of you still believe we've been to the moon and back. We have not. I can guarantee you we have not. Again, if you look at the supposed pictures of the Earth from the moon, they made the Earth way too small, and they've sought to correct their mistake in subsequent pictures. So you can find that supposed picture from 1969, the early 70s, and then in subsequent pictures, they've sought to correct their mistake by making the Earth bigger. But that's like a game of hide and seek, where it's 1, 2, 3 on the conspiracy. It's just that the conspirators, they don't want to accept reality. They don't want to accept that they've been found. Well, they have been found. It's the conspiracy's been totally exposed, and if you don't want to accept reality, that's not going to get you where you want to go. So no, we have not been to the moon. And yes, it's true that I don't think it's our flat earthers' strongest argument that where we claim that water would be flying off the supposed globe. I do think it's an inassailable argument that we would be getting sick to our stomachs if we lived on an oblate spheroid careening through space as fast as it's supposed to be going. I also think it's a white elephant, a big white elephant that so-called science claims that the Earth is surrounded by a vacuum of space, and yet the vacuum has not sucked all our air off. And they think that they think they can find some sort of salvation in gravity. No, gravity is not going to save you. There is no, in a contest between gravity and a vacuum, the vacuum wins every time. And in my opinion, it's just living in denial to try to deny that. Also, large bodies of water lie flat. 70% of the Earth's surface is water. And then there's the North Star and the constellations. So look, at night, the stars move in circles around the North Star. So that means that your supposed rotation of the Earth is enough to move the stars at night, and that wouldn't be no more than thousands of miles of movement. And yet, half a year from now, we're supposed to be supposedly on the other side of the sun, which is supposedly 93 million miles away. So that would mean we're 186 million miles away from where we are right now. Please build a to-scale model of that and make sure it is to scale, and ask yourself, how could we ever have a North Star or constellations around that star? Now, the only challenge I want to give you is, are you willing to pay attention to the actual facts? Because if you are, in my opinion, you have no way out. If you're willing to be intellectually honest, you should have no way of escape from acknowledging that the spherical theories are false. But that is my opinion. Look, I grew up in the global prison too. But in August of 2018, I realized the door to that prison was open and I walked out. My question to anyone who still believes the Earth is a spherical planet orbiting the sun is, what are you doing still in that global prison? The door is wide open. All you have to do is walk out. That's all you have to do. Think of a balloon. When you have a balloon and you pop it, the air rushes out. And in like manner, if the Earth were a spherical planet surrounded by nothing but the vacuum of space, the air would just rush out. And if you try to say gravity, I'm just going to say you're just living in denial, because there is no contest. In a contest between gravity and a vacuum, the vacuum wins every time. And if you're trying to live in denial of that, I don't know what more I can do to help you. You might think I'm the one that needs help. Hey, I need a lot of help. But one thing I am very thankful to know that I have figured out is that the Earth is not a spherical planet orbiting the sun. And if you still believe that, in my opinion, you should be accepting my help as I try to get you out of that global prison. And somebody made a very good point. People have tried to say it's impossible that they would be lying about the Earth being flat, because everybody would have to be on the quote-unquote global conspiracy. Have you not been paying attention to the world in the last several months? Because they have bullied much of the world population into a lockdown over nothing. So I'm not saying there isn't a virus. Some people say there isn't. I won't do that, because even Dane Wigington believes that it's simply an engineered virus, but it's still a weak one. The death rate is so low and the media keeps trying to inflate it. If you ever needed proof that there's a a worldwide conspiracy, I don't believe in the globe, but a worldwide conspiracy, look around over the last couple months. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And you better be glad I haven't had a loved one in the hospital and needed a visit. Then again, there's Daphne the widow, who I haven't visited in months. So maybe I'll have to give them a phone call and see if I can go pay her a visit. Bottom line is, if you can't tell there's something wrong with the world right now, that's willful ignorance, and I don't know what to do about that other than simply say, if you're willing to listen to me, I'd say, as nicely as I can, smarten up. And I'll do what I can to smarten up. I admit one thing. We all have areas that we need to improve, and I'm no exception to that. I need to smarten up. Last night and this morning were case in point of that. So I'll do what I can to smarten up in the areas where I need smartening up. But I can tell you, when it comes to my cosmology, I'm very happy to know the truth, that the Earth, after all this time, is flat, and that I was simply brought up indoctrinated with the globe, just like you were. So I understand if you aren't in a hurry to embrace the flat Earth truth, but if you're willing to know the truth, it will set you free. but I can't deny that there's pain and that it is overwhelming, and you find yourself waking up to realities that even I got annoyed at. But do you want to be part of saving the world? Because I know I do, and I welcome you to join me and us. You won't be as popular, you'll be laughed at, you'll be mocked, but you'll be on the side of truth. And in my opinion, you can't put a price tag on that. So there's yet another follow-up video, and I pray that God will richly bless you and give me wisdom to know how I can best help you, and that again, whatever help I need, I'll get. But rest assured, my name is Daniel. You know what Daniel means? God is my judge, or judged of God. So if you have concerns about me, you can always talk to my Heavenly Father and let Him know. And I will, you know what I will do? Challenge you. What's the highest number you've ever counted to? Have you ever counted to 1,000? You can count. You can do that by counting to 110 times, or you can use binary dactylonomy, which would take you to 1,023 on two hands, like this. So you start off with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, let's count by twos. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. Let me try that again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 64, 96, 128, 160, 192, 224, 256, 288, 320, 352, 384, 416, 448, 480, 512, 544, 576, 608, 640, 672, 704, 736, 768, 800, 832, 864, 896, 928, 960, 992, and then 994, 96, 98, 1,000, 1,002, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So there's my challenge. To count to 1,000 and actually do it. And if you want to just count to 110 times, that's 1,000. And you'll probably find it tedious, and I would challenge you to push through that tediousness. And then once you've done that, just imagine counting to 100 times. That would be 10,000. And then, so yeah, counting to 100 times, that would take a lot of determination. That would kind of demolish you in a good sense. And then imagine counting to 129 times, or about 29,000. That's about the height of Mount Everest. 29,000 right there is a big number. They claim the moon is 238,000 miles away. Have you ever counted to that number? I can guarantee you I've done that, 100%. And then how far away is the sun supposed to be? Again, have you created a 2-scale model of the supposed universe? And I welcome you to say whether or not you have in the comments. If you haven't, I would appreciate you just admitting it. If you have created a 2-scale model, I guess my question to you would be, well, then what gives? That right there is a huge white elephant. You know, certain globe earthers, they try to insinuate, you flat earthers, you need to come up with a working model, and it all has to work, and it all has to add up, and it all has to explain everything about everything. And I say, you so-called scientists believe in a solar system that cannot be drawn on paper. No way. You cannot draw it on paper and have it to scale. And I welcome you to create your 2-scale model to find out what I'm talking about. And that's almost 15 minutes. I'm going to let that suffice. I know some of you didn't like that other video. I noticed the unlikes. And I can tell you, you know, one video I saw more people had disliked it than liked it, and I would have deleted it, but then I watched it and I said, no, I actually stand behind everything I said in that video. So I do pay attention to the dislikes, and there have been times where I've seen so many people disliked a video of mine, I deleted it. I said, well, then I'll get it off. But sometimes you just have to say, well, I know what I'm saying is true, so I'm going to stay the course and pray that if there's anything I'm missing, God will show it to me. And again, if there's any help I need, He'll get it to me. But again, my name is Daniel, which means judged of God, or God is my judge, and I rest my case with Him. Have a great day.